Stress is an unavoidable part of life, but the way your brain adapts to it determines whether you break under pressure or rise above it. When stress adaptation is weak, challenges feel overwhelming, emotions spiral out of control, and decisions become clouded by fear and hesitation. Sperm retention strengthens the brain's ability to manage stress by optimizing neurotransmitter balance, stabilizing the nervous system, and reinforcing resilience at a fundamental level. With retention, stress no longer feels like a threat. It becomes fuel, sharpening your focus and refining your ability to navigate high-pressure situations with clarity and control. Retention triggers the faculties responsible for stress adaptation by regulating cortisol, enhancing dopamine stability, and reinforcing the neural pathways linked to emotional regulation. This allows you to remain composed even when faced with uncertainty, ensuring that your reactions are measured rather than impulsive. At peak balance, stress no longer drains you, it sharpens you. You develop the ability to act with precision, remain unshaken under pressure, and maintain a mindset of strategic problem solving. When your brain's stress adaptation reaches this level, setbacks don't slow you down. They elevate you, transforming every challenge into an opportunity for mastery. Section 1. Reduced overactivation. The locus coeruleus is the brain's command center for stress responses, regulating norepinephrine release to keep you alert and responsive. However, when overstimulated, it floods your system with stress hormones, pushing you into a state of hypervigilance and constant anxiety. This overactivation creates a cycle where minor challenges feel like threats, leaving you restless, reactive, and mentally exhausted. Sperm retention acts as a stabilizer, preventing excessive norepinephrine surges and allowing the brain to process stress in a balanced, controlled manner. Instead of drowning in overstimulation, you remain sharp, aware, and focused without the weight of unnecessary tension. Excess norepinephrine puts the nervous system in a heightened state of readiness, but when this state is sustained for too long, it leads to chronic stress, insomnia, and emotional burnout. Retention counters this by regulating neurotransmitter function, ensuring that norepinephrine is released only when truly necessary. This reduces the body's inclination to overreact to stressors, allowing you to remain calm and collected, even in unpredictable situations. You develop a sense of quiet control, where pressure fuels performance rather than panic. Hypervigilance, often mistaken for heightened awareness, actually dulls cognitive performance by keeping the mind locked in a defensive loop. The brain becomes fixated on potential dangers, limiting its ability to process information creatively or strategically. Retention shifts this paradigm, keeping the locus coeruleus in check so that awareness is used for intelligent decision-making rather than survival mode thinking. This means you can assess situations with precision, reacting only when necessary instead of being ruled by constant mental noise. When the locus coeruleus is overactive, it disrupts emotional stability, causing rapid mood swings and unpredictable bursts of anxiety. Retention stabilizes this by reinforcing neural pathways linked to impulse control, ensuring that your reactions remain logical rather than emotionally charged. Instead of being thrown off by stress, you learn to harness it, using it as a tool rather than a burden. Your emotional resilience increases, making you unshaken by external circumstances. Excess norepinephrine also interferes with deep sleep, keeping the body in a state of subconscious alertness that prevents true rest and recovery. Retention promotes a healthier neurochemical balance, allowing the nervous system to power down when needed. As a result, sleep becomes deeper, more restorative, and free from the restless agitation caused by an overactive locus coeruleus. The next day, you wake up with a sharper mind, a steadier heart, and a level of composure that others can sense without a word. A controlled locus coeruleus ensures that you react to life with strategy, not desperation. When norepinephrine is released in a balanced manner, stress responses become assets rather than obstacles. You remain steady under pressure, able to adapt without being consumed by fear. Retention fine-tunes this system, creating a version of you that is both alert and unshaken, a leader in chaos rather than a victim of it. Ultimately, sperm retention transforms the locus coeruleus from a source of mental turbulence into an ally of resilience. The difference between reacting and responding is subtle, but it defines those who remain in control of their fate. With retention as the foundation, stress is no longer an enemy. It becomes the sharpening stone for your mental and emotional strength, ensuring that you move through life with confidence, purpose, and absolute clarity. Section 2. Prefrontal cortex signal. The prefrontal cortex is the seat of logic, foresight, and self-regulation, responsible for keeping emotions and impulses in check. When stress takes over, this executive center weakens, allowing the more primal regions of the brain to hijack your responses. This is why people under stress often make impulsive decisions, lash out emotionally, or freeze in moments requiring quick thinking. Sperm retention strengthens the prefrontal cortex's control over the stress response, reinforcing your ability to think clearly and act decisively under pressure. Instead of being overwhelmed, you remain grounded, turning challenges into opportunities rather than obstacles. A strong prefrontal cortex allows you to separate emotion from action, ensuring that decisions are guided by strategy rather than reaction. Sperm retention supports this by preserving dopamine levels, which are crucial for maintaining cognitive flexibility and mental endurance. This means that under pressure, instead of feeling trapped in the heat of the moment, you can take a step back, assess the bigger picture, and make the right move. Retention transforms stress from an enemy into a tool, one that sharpens your ability to focus and lead. Stress naturally drains mental energy, but an optimized prefrontal cortex prevents this depletion by regulating neural efficiency. Sperm retention ensures that your cognitive resources are preserved, allowing your mind to stay engaged for longer periods without fatigue. This is why those who practice retention often report heightened discipline and increased willpower, because their prefrontal cortex is primed to resist distractions, control urges, and sustain high-level thinking even in high-pressure environments. When the prefrontal cortex is fully engaged, decision-making becomes more precise and hesitation disappears. Retention stabilizes the neural pathways that reinforce confidence, ensuring that self-doubt doesn't cloud your judgment. While others freeze in uncertainty, you move forward with clarity, trusting in your ability to make the right call. This is the kind of mindset that allows leaders to emerge in moments of crisis, not through luck, but through mastery of their own neurological functions. At its peak, prefrontal cortex strength through retention creates a state of effortless control. You no longer feel at the mercy of external stressors or internal doubts. Instead, every challenge becomes an opportunity to refine your thinking, push your limits, and operate at your highest cognitive potential. Retention doesn't just help you manage stress. It turns stress into the fire that forges you into someone sharper, stronger, and fully in command of their own mind. Section 3. Neuromodulation. The brain operates in a delicate balance between stimulation and relaxation, with two key neurotransmitters controlling this dynamic. Glutamate, which excites neurons and drives cognitive function, and GABA, which calms neural activity and prevents overstimulation. When this balance is disrupted, the mind becomes either too sluggish or too restless, leading to mental fog, anxiety, or emotional instability. Sperm retention plays a crucial role in maintaining this equilibrium. ensuring that glutamate keeps the brain sharp while GABA prevents overstimulation. This balance allows you to stay highly focused without burning out, making retention a direct enhancer of both mental clarity and emotional resilience. Excessive glutamate activity without sufficient GABA regulation leads to mental overload, where thoughts race uncontrollably, stress feels overwhelming, and focus becomes nearly impossible. This state drains cognitive energy, leaving you mentally fatigued before the day is even halfway through. Retention stabilizes this by preserving the nutrients and hormones necessary for proper neuromodulation, ensuring that your brain doesn't spiral into a state of chaos. Instead of being bombarded by endless distractions and anxious overthinking, your mind remains clear, composed, and primed for deep focus. At its highest level, sperm retention refines the balance between stimulation and relaxation, creating a state of effortless mental flow. Your thoughts become fluid, your emotions remain stable, and your ability to adapt to stress reaches its peak. This isn't just about controlling the mind, it's about optimizing it, ensuring that every cognitive function operates at its highest efficiency. When retention fuels this neuromodulatory balance, you don't just handle stress, you harness it, using its energy to propel yourself forward with a calm intensity that others can't ignore.